Alright, when last we left off, we finished creating two other characters. We're all familiar with Chaz Williams, our super dexterous store clerk. Todd Johnson, our bike courier with decent mental fortitude. Pretty shit on every other front. And we've got Iris Worthington, a therapist who is not as keen in the mind, but has decent strength and dexterity. So we've created all of these characters, but now we've put it off long enough. It's time for the inciting incident. So I've got a couple tools here. Well, first of all, decided to use a fountain pen for the first time because I bought it a long time ago. And it's the Lamy Safari. And I got a nice little Rhodia notebook that I've never even fucking written in. So it's perfect opportunity. And we've got tools at our disposal. We've got what's in the Liminal Horror guide, which we will consult. And we've got, let's move this over here. And we've got the Mythic Game Master Emulator, 2nd edition, which has some very, very handy tables in the back. Pretty sure. Where the fuck are the tables? Yeah, here we go. Meaning tables. We've got actions. We've got descriptions. Elements. Such as adventure. Or adventure tone. Alien species descriptors. Animal actions. Army descriptors, cavern descriptors, characters. So I'm thinking we use some of these to figure out what the inciting incident is. Why are these three characters together? Yeah, this will be helpful. I'm gonna stash a bookmark in this, and we're gonna just jot down some notes to start it off. Okay. So, inciting incident. Why are they together? Which I think we decided, if I'm not mistaken, what was it, a robbery or something like that? Yeah, okay. So they were at... So there was a robbery at Chaz's store. And... Iris... Todd... were witnesses. So they stayed behind. Okay, this is kind of fun. I kind of like writing with this pen. What happens next? Alright, what could happen next? Let's go over like a couple ideas. First thing comes to mind, they go get a drink together. or they ride public transit together. What else? Let's think. What would three people, one of them who's an employee at the store, what would these three people have done next? Ooh. They could have headed to the police station for statements. Although they probably would have done statements there. So let's do statements and questioning. Oh, it's hard. Right. Go get a drink, ride public transit together, headed to police station for statements and questioning. Let's see, what else? We could say Iris, Todd, help clean up store. And then maybe let's think of like one more thing. Or they all head home. Maybe they go separate ways. But I don't like that. What happens next? Let's think. Help clean up the store, or okay, crazy, but what if, let's say, oh shit, it's all over me. All right, am I writing with this thing correctly? No. If I touch it, it's gonna get all over me. So I'm gonna resist the urge. What about this? What if the robbery plays out again and exactly the same time loop? That could be fun. Hold on. I will edit this out, but I gotta figure out what's happening with this pen. I'll be right back. Alright, where were we? I think I got this thing fixed. I don't know, I've never used one before, so I have no idea if I did it right. Okay, so a little out there, but for what happens next, the robbery plays out again and exactly the same. Time loop, question mark? I don't mind that. But do we really want to go time loop to start this out? They begin to go separate ways. See, I can never spell this damn word right. I think it's A. Separate. Bam, okay. They begin to go separate ways. And the power grid goes dark. So why don't we actually do this? Why don't we number these? So 1, 2, 3, 4. That way we can continue them further on if we want to. If we want to go back to them. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. What if... Let's see. What happens? They stumble upon a body in the alleyway. Next to the store. We don't know, so we're going to put question marks on all these. Okay, let's go over some of our options here. Go get a drink, ride public transit together, head to the police station. Iris and Todd help clean up the store. I would say these two, we should link them. These two kind of remind me, or they carry like similar vibes. So like they stick around and then the robbery plays out again. Or we combine let's do, they don't go their separate ways, but let's say let's say 2. Okay, 2 and this one go together. They go get a drink. Oh, they could go get a drink. Where are these? So kind of we got this one I don't like. We're not going to do that. So we got kind of 3 options. So we've got 1 and 7. We've got 2 and 6. And we got 4 and 5. Okay. Let's get in there. Let's look at the Mythic Game Master emulator real quick. I'm going to move this over. I'm going to set this here. Can you see this? Is the real question. All right. where's my tables at? So we could look through here, city descriptors, character skills, creature descriptors. We could definitely roll some creature descriptors if we think cryptic message. Force descriptors, magic item, location gods, mutation, names, objects, powers. Visions and dreams. Dead descriptors. Okay, hold on. What do we think? Let's see, personality. I don't know. I don't know which table to roll. We could just roll on these front two. The meaning tables. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So we've got... What are we rolling? We're rolling D100s, right? So get all these out of here. Get our D6s out of here. Visible. Okay. What are we going to roll here? So we'll roll on action table 1. We got a 38 drop. Okay, let me just make a quick note of this. Ooh, we got piles and piles of stuff. Words. That's what that says. Oh wait, I didn't write it down. Drop. Let's do another one. Let's roll on 2. We got 73. Portal. Okay. We'll do a couple of these. And we can choose from there. What would that be? 5? Alright, yeah. 5. Ambush. Okay. What's our next one gonna be? See, I like these pairings because then you can kind of get... So what is that, a 40? Home. Interesting. These are giving us some good options. We'll do 5-word pairings. How about that? Give ourselves an out here. Oh, dude. 93. Trap. What's our next one gonna be? We got a 79. Protection. Okay. 2 more. 75. Release. And a 34, which is freedom. Release. Freedom. Oh, okay. Okay. I got stuff brewing, that's for sure. And 81. Ruin. Ooh. My biggest struggle with this pen so far is that there's like a very specific direction that this needs to be in order for it to write properly. In switching hands, I don't automatically grab it the correct way, so I gotta rotate it around a bunch. 65 outside. Interesting. So we got a couple word pairings here. Let's take a peek at these and we'll see where we can go from here. Alright. So what could we make out of these? Drop portal. Sometimes you have to think about them like a little abstract. They stumble upon a body in the alleyway. It could be release freedom. Ruin outside. I think, okay, so I'm gonna say release freedom. So let's see here, 1 and 7. When they go get a drink, they stumble upon a body. I'm gonna say release and freedom. We're gonna pair up with this, with the going to get a drink and stumbling upon a body. And I'm gonna say ruin. Shit. Oh, okay. So here we go. Ambush, home, 2 and 6. We can do that. They're on their way home. Power grid goes dark. They get ambushed while they're on public transit. That could be the inciting incident. But this is more like backstory, so if that's the inciting incident, maybe they don't even know what they're facing. And then Iris and Todd help clean up, and while they're doing that, the robbery starts to play out again exactly the same. So everything kind of like resets. I don't know. Drop portal. Why don't we... Yeah, why don't we do... no. I don't like drop portal. Fuck it, we're doing this. We're going to combine these two here. Okay, we got these two, we got these two, we got these two. So far, strongest pair that I like, also the only one that I've fleshed out, is that while they're riding home together, the power grid goes dark and they're ambushed. Release freedom. I put that with going to get a drink and find the body because potentially maybe when they try to help the person. Oh, fuck. I don't know. Oh. Ooh, yeah. So what if they find the body? We'll figure out what the person looks like or how they got killed. But what if they find the body and they find an item in their hand, and if they fuck around with it, it releases something from its prison? 4 and 5's a hard one. But at the same time, it's also the one I'm least excited about, so we're just gonna get rid of it. Because I'm not that stoked about it. Okay, so let's move to the next page. So what would that be? 1 and 7. Release freedom. 1, 7. One and 7, and then we'll do 1 and 7. Release freedom. There we go. So we can do on their way to get a drink, they find a body in the alleyway. The corpse is what could be wrong with it? So it's spitballing. It could be like fucking Mummy style with Brendan Fraser, like just shriveled and like sucked of all of its liquid, essentially. It could be like essentially just covered in lacerations. I'm gonna say, or it could be, the other thing I'm thinking of is it's like bent, like, and just all fucked and crumpled, and you know, like 13 Ghosts. Have you ever seen that movie? There's like a dude in that movie that gets like fucking folded in half and like pulled inside of a car. That traumatized me for pretty much my entire life. That could be nuts. See, or we could start it off like have it be like hanging half out of like a manhole cover or something. But would there be a manhole in an alley? I'm gonna say it's covered in deep lacerations. The right arm pulled from from its shoulder socket and mangled. Fingers tightly gripped around a small stone cube. We'll keep it very vague just in case we want to like switch shit up. Okay. Oh, can't even fucking read this. On their way to get a drink, they find a body in the alleyway. The corpse is covered in deep lacerations, the right arm pulled from its shoulder socket and mangled, fingers tightly gripped around a small stone cube. And then we could say fingers tightly gripped around a small stone cube. An entity. Awaits its release. All right, now we'll flesh out the next one. 2 and 6. Ambush. Home. They board a public bus and head toward the train station. I don't know. Public bus and head toward the train station. I guess, buses could take you. Public bus and head toward the train station. You know what? How about this? They head toward the train station, agreeing to see each other home. En route the neighborhood goes dark. No street lights. Oop. No street lights. No lit windows from the passing homes. Suddenly, the train stops. And they hear tearing metal and breaking glass. Something approaches. Okay. Kind of got two ideas. Yeah, sorry if this is like, seems unnecessary, but I kind of want, this is like kind of what I want. I want to see like the slow sort of decision-making process of coming up with an adventure, or even just like a setting, or just like the shitty parts that would get typically cut out once the product was completed, or the setting or whatever current event you're working on was kind of refined. But I like the nitty-gritty. It's ugly. I spilled ink everywhere. There's just fucking lines. It's like a crazy person's chalkboard. But I think we got two ideas here. Now I just gotta pick one. But I do think whatever one I pick, we're just gonna have to wait and find out in the next video, when we, I guess, put it into play. The next episode, I think, will probably be our first actual session. And it might just be a little baby session 0, sort of, don't expect anything crazy, because it's been a while since I've solo roleplayed. But, I mean, like, physically solo roleplayed, instead of just coming up with ideas and stories in my head. But, yeah, we'll make the next one the first real opportunity to play Chaz and Iris and Todd. So, I don't know if that sounds good, but if so, stick around, and thanks for watching. I appreciate y'all. Take it easy. Bye.